Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dee. Welcome if you're new. So in today's topic, I want to cover uncertainty and fear, how uncertainty scrambles our brains. So we've all been exposed to this COVID situation for over 2 years, and the virus itself has mutated to the latest strain called Omicron. And with the presence of this new variant, there has been a lot of conflicting information per usual. Some say that because this virus is spreading so fast and so wide, that we're becoming more and more susceptible to catch it, even though we're double vaxxed and even triple vaxxed, and that it's really dangerous, that we should put down more draconian lockdown measurements or just restrictions on our economy. While others argue that because the virus has become less lethal, that the hospitalization rate and death toll have all gone down with this new variant, that it might be a hope for us to see the end of the tunnel, to see some light. Maybe there's going to be an end to this whole madness soon, because that the symptoms are going milder and there are less patients being committed to the hospital, that maybe we will finally be able to coexist with this virus in peace if we can just get booster every year, and that this virus will become an epidemic instead of a pandemic. With all these uncertainties, a lot of us are in this constant fear and just anxiousness, which I think a lot of governments might actually relish in this reactions from all the civilians, because I think more and more this COVID situation has become more like a tool for the governments to push this draconian policies and reinforce their control over our everyday life. And especially when you look at a lot of countries worldwide, you had South Korea that doxed its own people, developing this app that literally traced down every positive COVID patient and encouraged people to report on each other, creating this witch hunt culture. And then you had Australia that would capture and throw people into concentration camps for suspected to have COVID and not necessarily have it. And then you had China, which is not really surprising. Recently in Xi'an, they just enforced another round of strict lockdown without even prior warning. So I know personally several people that are living in Xi'an that are facing legitimate hunger problem, and a lot of them are forced to resort to exchange goods for or services for food in 2021. It's just totally unbelievable, and that's why it's even more important to understand how uncertainty kind of works on our brain, therefore might cloud our judgment, and that's why we need to really be a little more cautious and judicious in how we respond to the information that is released by the government. So there was an interesting study that was published in 2016 where a group of researchers recruited 45 volunteers to play this well-designed video game. In this video game, the participants were asked to be presented with groups of rocks, and then within each pair, they had to turn over one of the two rocks. The rule went, if they discovered a snake beneath the rock that they turned over, then they would receive an electric shock. The shock was painful yet harmless. And then if they discovered nothing beneath the rock, then they wouldn't be punished. They would receive nothing. The probability for finding a snake beneath the rock would be somewhere between, I forgot, like 30 and 100. So it fluctuates quite a bit, but mostly remained high. That's why participants were constantly on edge when they were playing this game. And this is to help researchers measure their stress level. And the way they test it out is to first look at their saliva secretion, and by incorporating a lot of mathematical computation, they were able to measure the cortisol level in the saliva these participants provided. Therefore, observe their stress level. And then they also used some subjective evaluations, including questionnaires. And meanwhile, the researchers would observe the participants' pupil dilatation and sweat conductance to look at the stress level and the change of it. So in the end, they found that when the probability of finding a snake remains at 50%, which is half and half, the participants all showed the most stress. That result really told us that we feel the most anxious, dreadful when we're uncertain about things. Even when we're more certain about certain things might fail or certain suffering might happen, we still don't feel as bad as when we really are stuck at the middle. That's why it's so dangerous to have all the conflicting information out there on everything, on COVID, on politics and economy. That's why a lot of people are constantly living on edge, and that is not really beneficial for the stability of our society, nor the quality of life that people are having and the level of happiness people are feeling. And that's why we have to do everything within our power to regain some certainty. And now it begs the question, just as another everyday person, what we can do to deal with this uncertainty and the fear that comes with it. So I saw some really good solutions. The first one is to learn about everything you can on the unknown. So if you are really anxious about COVID, then just do everything you can to research on how virus works, how viral mutation works, and then watch educational, informational videos on YouTube, TED Talk, and all of the other websites, including university websites, because there are just so many free resources that are open to the public that are pretty easy for us to access nowadays. Second solution is to practice radical acceptance. Once we learn everything we can about the things that we don't know, and we have to accept that there's only so much we can learn and there's only so much we can do to protect ourselves and to react to certain things. Therefore, we have to be just willing to admit that it's okay to not know certain things. And once you acknowledge that kind of increases the level of certainty. And by practicing this radical acceptance, you can actually increase your tolerance for uncertainty and therefore feel less anxious. And your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, will not just always spike so much once you see something that is kind of unknown to you. And then the third solution is the cognitive behavioral therapy, because research did show that psychotherapy can help with lowering somebody's intolerance of uncertainty and therefore become more calm and feel more at ease when they are presented with challenges and unknowns in life. So if you are truly feeling troubled and bothered by a lot of the uncertainties and feeling extremely overwhelmed to the point that you feel paralyzed and it's affecting your everyday life, your mood, and your interactions with other people, then definitely turning to professional help is the best solution to go at the moment. And then the professional therapists will be able to help you, especially using cognitive behavioral therapy, because it helps you kind of readjust your reality and become more based, more grounded, and examine your situation, your reality from a more objective perspective. And then the therapist will be able to provide you professional tools, necessary tools that you wouldn't have gathered otherwise. and help you kind of document your own stress change and your own mood change, and give you all the strategies to help you cope with uncertainties. So these are 3 solutions that I will also personally put in practice, and I wonder what your thoughts are on this topic about uncertainty, including how you feel about this new COVID variant. And are you afraid? Are you anxious? And if you're not feeling too anxious, what are your secrets to deal with it so well? Please just leave it all in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing your comments soon. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, take care.